The barrier to entry was figuring out where to go to get this made. Like there was not, I mean, I'm pretty old and we started Urban, like we launched in 1996. So there's people that are in the world today that are beauty consumers that have never known a world without Urban Decay. To them, that is a legacy brand, like legacy.
Yeah.
So I remember having influencers at a Caliray event and I realized they were born after I started Urban Decay, which is crazy, right?
That is really cool.
So, it's the barriers to entry then were like, how do you get it made? I mean, we actually went to a car paint factory and asked them where they get the car paint made, thinking maybe that's where you'd make nail polish. And it did turn out to be accurate. And so from once we got the nail polish people, then we were able to say, well, where do you get bottles to put this in? And then we were able to get that. And then we were like, where do you get a case to like make a lipstick? And then we'd ask them where to make a lipstick. I mean, it's literally like building your own network. Now you go to Google and you type in, right? And so that barrier is a lot different. The barriers to entry were there were more gatekeepers. So you had to go through the traditional women's magazines and media. And I would like scour and look at the what was called a masthead. It was a page with all the different editors. I would find the beauty director. I would literally get on the phone and start calling.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to It Takes a Village. I'm your host, Delina. And if this is your first time listening to the show, thank you so much for being here. If you're returning, if you're coming back, thank you for being a member of our community, of our village. This show is a show that connects self-growth with the power of community. And today we are talking to Wende Zomnir. So a few months ago, I was talking with one of the members of my team, and we were talking about the fact that I used to work at Cisco Systems. So if you don't know, I have a tech background. I started my career working for a tech company called Cisco Systems. I also worked for Salesforce. Back then they called it salesforce.com. But anyway, I digress. So I was at Cisco, I was doing sales, and it was one of the most important things I think I have done. And I'll say that for a lot of reasons, but mostly because I started to understand how being a creative could also be about being a business woman, being a business leader. And I never really understood the correlation between the two, but because I applied what I learned at Cisco with funnels and understanding sales cycles, I believe that that's why over the past decade, I have been able to work for myself. So to bring this full circle, the co-founder of the first company that Wende founded was with a woman named Sandy Lerner, and Sandy Lerner also founded Cisco Systems. So this is a really full circle moment for me. We talk about it on the episode as well, but I just had to say, like, it was one of the main reasons where I was like, I have to have Wende on the show, because this just feels like such a it takes a village moment to know that, like, 15 years ago, I was working for Cisco, and now I'm talking to someone who was working alongside the co-founder of Cisco, and I didn't even know she was involved in building a beauty company. Like, how cool is that? So, as you can tell, I'm very excited for you to meet Wende. She is amazing. She has so much energy. She has a company that she has now co-founded called Caliray, and Caliray is incredible. It's different. It's its own thing, and it is very fun for me because I am in a season of my life where being active is really important to me, and Caliray is a brand for the active girls. Wende is super active. She does pretty much any sport imaginable. She does hiking. Like, she also does like intense heavy lifting. She does surfing. She is an active woman. So we talk a lot about surfing. As you know, if you've been a fan of the show, I am a huge fan of surfing. I think it is so cool and amazing and fun. I still haven't gotten over to Newport Beach. I know I say it in the episode. I didn't make it yet, but I do plan on going to Newport Beach. I live in Los Angeles, so Newport Beach isn't that far for me to get to. But I do want to say I'm very excited for you to meet Wende. She is a modern beauty industry pioneer. She co-founded Urban Decay in 1996, and it was a very, very big deal. I mean, like, I know you've heard of Urban Decay. It's one of those major beauty brands that just did a really, really big thing. It was reported that Urban Decay was acquired by L'Oreal for $350 million in 2012. So she stayed on for a bit through that transition, and now she is fully with Caliray. And they're a really cool brand because they introduce wellness into the products. There is a setting spray that I love that has magnesium, transdermal magnesium. If you're new here, magnesium is that girl. She is so good for your body and for your skin. And so we talk about that. We talk about sustainability, like what is the future of beauty? What's happening? How can we have high value, high performance products that are also considered clean? What is clean? How are we helping the environment as we create and build products, more and more products, right? Like, what does that look like? And in this episode, we talk about how she met Sandy, which I think is very cool. We also talk about how finding plastic trash on a deserted island sparked her mission to create truly sustainable beauty. She also breaks down the early wild days of Urban Decay, from how she met Shirley Manson to, how to meet the cool girls in New York City and being like, yeah, pass this out, give this to your friends. The older I get, the more wisdom I gain, the more people I spend time with, the more I realize that building a really incredible business is nothing compared to your health. It doesn't matter at all. And I think that the older I get, the more intentional I am about my own wellness practices, and I feel like I want to share that message. I want to be a champion of that for everyone that is around me. So I really hope that this episode really resonates with you, that you love it, and that you feel inclined to share it with a friend. In addition to that, when you share it on social media, it makes a huge difference when you write us a review on Apple, which I hope you do. When you listen to this episode, please head over to Apple and leave us a review, and also head over to ittakesavillagepod.com, where you can check out all of the show notes, and you can find out more information about the show and sign up for the newsletter. Okay, I love you. Let's get into this episode, and it's time to meet Wendy. Okay, let's go. Wendy, welcome
Hi.
to It Takes a Village.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
I'm so happy to have you here. I have the most interesting story. I don't know if your team told you this, so I'm going to tell it to you.
Okay, tell me.
Okay, so when I started my career working at Cisco Systems.
That is crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
I know, but I did hear you say that on another podcast, and I was like, this is
You're like, wait a minute. No, it's nuts, because I was talking to a member of my team, and we were looking at you, and we were researching, and I go, Sandy Lerner. I said, I know that name. And I was like, wait a minute. So your co-founder is literally
the co-founder of Cisco Systems.
Insane.
Yeah. What I have to say about Sandy is she was the original female empowerment mentor. I know there's a lot of women out there that are starting businesses and they empower other women, and it is awesome.
Yeah.
But she really started the chain to me, because here I am. I knew I wanted to do something entrepreneurial. I loved beauty. I had been in beauty in very sort of low-level roles at points in time in my life. Mm-hmm. I'd gotten in trouble for wearing too much makeup. I have all these stories about beauty. So I was destined to be there. Mm-hmm. But I did not believe that I could start a company that would literally completely shake up beauty. When I started in beauty, it was not the sort of technicolor dream that you know now as Sephora and Ulta and all of these retailers where you go in and it's a candy store. It was big companies with big brands, and it was counters at department stores, and it was a completely different model. And I remember I just would have never thought on my own I could do this. Mm-hmm. And she just looked at me and she goes, I broke tech. Why can't we just break beauty?
Yeah.
And that really hit me. And it really gave me the confidence to believe in myself, to just continue to hammer and push and just, it's endless battles, right? I mean, I'm sure you've talked to enough founders to know that the story is the endless battle, right? The heroine's journey that never ends.
That's true.
And that is really, Sandy gave me that, because she was one of the first women to do it in an industry that does not embrace women. Mm-hmm. And it's a gift to all of us. Really, it passes it down. Because, Urban Decay was one of those brands that really sort of broke through that, started that indie beauty movement.
Yeah.
And then it really, my goal was to, let's pave the way for, all this indie beauty. The dream is true. The dream is happening. Mm-hmm. And Sandy was really the catalyst for it. You really got to give the woman credit for it.
That's so cool. I mean, it's just like, it's such an interesting thing because like you just said, I broke tech, let's break beauty. Like the whole idea of that, essentially like starting the internet and then starting
Like
people
it's like don't understand.
It's like wild.
We should give people some perspective because you understand.
Yes.
So Cisco Systems her and her husband Len created the internet.
Because
before this, there were local area networks, right? But you could not network networks. And so if you're PepsiCo and you have an office in Dallas and an office in New York, they are shipping tapes literally overnight. They're putting FedEx in business.
Yeah.
But Dallas and New York could not talk to each other. It wasn't until noon the next day everyone was synced, and they were only synced for 8 hours. And then more data had to be exchanged that way. They figured out how to network networks. I cannot believe we're talking about this on a beauty podcast. But
so
it's really
cool.
cool. And it really created at one point, it was 70 or 80% of the connections on the internet were through a Cisco router. It was really something incredible, world-changing, incredible that they created.
So cool. And that's your co-founder of Urban Decay.
Yes.
So, okay, so talk to
brilliant.
me like, yeah, brilliant.
Brilliant.
So how did you meet?
So this is a crazy story, and the story begins and just sort of like there was a really cool wrap to it. You know how there was these serendipitous moments throughout things? So like a nice wrap-up serendipity moment just happened last weekend. So I was teaching an aerobics class in Chicago, Illinois. My first job out of college was in Chicago.
Okay.
And on the side hustle is we all got the side hustle when we start. And my side hustle was teaching aerobics.
Okay.
And so there was this beautiful woman in my class. She turns out she's like one of these like hot models in Chicago. Okay. She's got all these hot model friends. I'm like, I'm going to hang out with the hot models because they meet all the cute guys. And one of her friends was this woman, Tara. And Tara had at one time been engaged to this guy named David. And David was Sandy's business manager. David was still in love with Tara at the time, not anymore. Okay. And he would call her on the regular, and he was like, hey, Sandy's like starting this new venture. Maybe it's going to be a makeup company. Da, da. And she's like, well, you should call whatever it is, you call my friend Wendy. She just moved to California, and she'd be perfect. She's like a marketing whiz for, popular culture kinds of things.
Yeah.
And so he called me, and I was at another agency out here in California. And I was like, I knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I was like trying to figure out what that was going to be, what that could look like. And I flew up there. I met with Sandy. And this is where Urban Decay was born, was in the backyard of her house in Los Altos.
Wow.
Yeah. And we just were like, let's do it.
Did you hit it off immediately?
We hit it off immediately.
Okay.
Yeah. For some reason, we just had that click. And we were like picking out bottles and coming up with names, like right off the bat. Like the whole thing was happening. Immediately.
First meeting.
Yeah.
Wow.
We were eating vegetarian lasagna, playing with our cats, and building a beauty brand in the backyard of her house in Los Altos.
Okay, so what were you doing at this time where someone said that you were this marketing genius? Like, what was your life looking like that you were like invited into this opportunity?
So I had worked in advertising. So I worked at a big ad agency in Chicago called Leo Burnett. Okay. I scammed my way in because I'm just a girl from Texas, and they love to recruit from Ivy Leagues and big schools, and I was not that. Okay. But I had won an internship through the former publisher of the LA Times. He put it out there to give 3 kids it was the first year, and I was like, I'm going to get this internship. And I applied and I won it. And I got sent to a big agency in Chicago. And that was where I went to school. That was their dream, was to place someone at one of those big agencies to get one of their marketing, advertising, journalism kids into a big agency environment. So I got there and I was like, I'm going to work so hard. They cannot live without me. Okay. And that's what I did.
And that's what happened.
Oh, wait. I didn't get to my serendipity moment.
Okay, get to your serendipitous moment.
So it turns out Tara ends up marrying a guy, moving to LA. Our kids both go to USC, and we went to USC graduation together last weekend.
Oh, wow. Wait, was this the first time you've seen her, or have you?
No, we've stayed in touch.
Okay, but it was
still,
just
how
the timing.
Cool. This whole thing begins. It changes. My friendship with her changes the trajectory of my life. Yeah. And we end up in the same kind of place, like watching both our kids graduate at USC.
That's beautiful.
Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah, congratulations. That's so great. How does it feel to have like a brand new graduate in the house? Or maybe out of the house?
Well, he's in and out. He's I feel like hustling.
I feel like right after I graduated, I was hustling.
Yeah, he's hustling.
So he's in and out of the house, but he's like, he's graduated. What did he graduate in?
He weirdly has a degree in economics.
Okay.
He's a minor in Spanish and accounting.
Okay.
Speaks beautiful Spanish. But he spent most of his time at the Annenberg School, which is the comm school, journalism school.
Okay.
And he did tons of sports reporting, like you, podcasting. So he produced the Victory podcast for USC. He was the host of the Annenberg School podcast, and he had his own podcast.
Oh, wow.
And he has his own social media accounts, and he has all these followers. So he's really into the sports reporting things. So he's off hustling, trying to like find his spot in the world
so cool.
of sports media. Yeah.
Yeah. Did they get into sports because of you?
I don't know. Their dad loves professional sport, loves college sports, professional sports. It just seems like they always played sports. They love it. And then you go to USC and he became a super fan.
Yeah. That's fair. Yeah. I feel like whenever I think of you, I always think of the fact that you love surfing.
I do love surfing and snowboarding and
you're like an
beach
athlete.
volleyball and yoga and mountain biking. I'm tennis, play a lot of tennis. Yeah, I love to just move.
Yeah. Okay. So
it's my drug of choice.
I do love moving too. I feel like it's important to me. If I don't move, even after like a day or two, I feel weird. Like if I don't
you feel a little like stuck in your body.
Something. It's like the energy has to come out.
Yeah, the energy has to come out. And to me, it's like the way you clear your head.
Yeah.
It's the way you deal with stress.
Yeah.
It's all of it is just, and all of those different kinds of I even like love to lift heavy weights. Like all of those different kinds of exercise do different things for you. Mm-hmm. So I love the weightlifting because it's really to me like stress relieving. You're building your skeletal system. You're building your muscles. Like and it really does get you out of your head. You're able to be super present for a heavy lift. And then yoga, obviously you learn to like control your vagus nerve, and that can really like calm your central nervous system. Competitive sports is social, it's friendship, it's eye-hand coordination for like the tennis, the pickleball. And those social moments of competition are great. And I love one of the joys of my life is competing, especially with other women. I think a lot of times like, you know, we lose that later in life, but you know, to keep score is fun, you know, and like, and in a friendly environment, I think it's just really good for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I feel like I do want to talk to you about surfing a little bit.
Okay,
though.
well, I would love to talk about surfing.
Okay, yeah. I just discovered surfing like recently, like within the past like year and a half. But when I did it for the first time, I was like, I can't describe how I felt. I just felt like, you know how some things you care about, like how good you are at it? This was different. It was I didn't care. Like I was just like, I just kept like wiping out and I would just like, get back on the board. Like I felt like my instructor was getting more frustrated than I was because I was just like, I just like to be out here. Like this is so fun. Like, and I don't know what it was about it, but surfing is just beautiful. It's like meditative.
It is. I remember my first wave. Like it happened yesterday. It was at a spot called Churches down in San Onofre.
Yeah.
And I had these gals that lived near me in Laguna Beach when I first moved out to California. And they were like, we're going surfing. And they literally like threw me in their car. And I remember like actually catching the wave and feeling it, that feeling when the board catches.
Yeah.
And you're moving and it's like, it's amazing. I have a friend and we're going to go to her place.
Okay.
She's a place in La Jolla called it's Surf Diva, and it's a girls' surf camp, super cool. You can go for a weekend. And she always says, and she's been teaching women to surf for years, she always says the best surfer in the water is the one who's having the most fun.
Oh, I love that.
So
I'm doing it right.
You were doing it right.
That's good. How did you discover it?
I discovered it through the gals I live near in Laguna. They literally were like, we're putting you in the car and taking you surfing.
I love that. I love that. It's like, yeah, it's something that I really, really enjoy. And to me, I feel like everything in my life is so like, oh, I need to be good at this thing. I need to be good at this thing. But that is just like, I just like being in the water. I like how it feels. I I don't know how to explain it. It just felt like, oh, I need to be doing more of this. So yeah.
You should be doing more of it. And, really surfing was one of the catalysts for starting Caliray. I mean, there were a few, but I was in the Maldives surfing off a deserted island with my family. And they're great surfers, and I was tired.
Yeah.
Came to it later in life like you. And I was like, I'm going to paddle to that beach, that uninhabited island, and just chill out and watch you guys for a minute.
Yeah.
I get to the beach, and the island, like within like a few feet behind me in the bushes, it's like filled with plastic trash.
Wow.
Filled with it. And so the thing that struck me was, oh my God, all those naked pallets are probably in a landfill right now. Like, what's the next mission in beauty? Because with Urban Decay, the mission was like to democratize beauty. Mm-hmm. And I was like, what's the next mission in beauty? And it was really, to me, it's got to be something in the realm of sustainability. Yeah. Like, I had already ventured into the clean space, and then I wanted to really bring this into it as well.
Yeah. I love that. So, okay, so you're looking at this trash and you're like, okay, tell me how you get from that to idea about this beauty brand.
It really was like, I want to start a beauty brand, and the only way to start a truly sustainable beauty brand would be to like figure out how to grow an avocado that like is either got extra hyaluronic acid in it or pigments, and you smear it on your face and then you compost it, right? But that's not going to happen. We're not going to GMO like genetically modify avocados or I mean, maybe that's coming one day, but we're not there yet. But that would be cool if you could pick something and then smear it on your face and then like compost the rest of it, but whatever.
That would be cool.
That would be cool. We're not there yet. But I was
yet.
like, what can we do with like true like sustainability and packaging that would make a difference? And so we really do push a lot with that. Not everything is like super high-end sustainable. Sometimes we're just like basic PCR. Like that's what this is calling for. And sometimes you learn lessons about recyclable materials. Like you love that tube gloss I sent you.
Yeah.
And it is great. It is in a bioplastic tube that is made out of sugarcane resin. So it is the waste product of existing sugarcane. They're not building more sugarcane. It's like waste products. So it's pretty cool. It's a non-petroleum polymer. And the problem is in a small tube size, you can get a crack. And I learned the lesson the hard way. So you have to like re-engineer this, right? So there's always little like issues with these sustainable materials. They take a lot longer, but the payoff in the end is great. Like the primer I just showed you, the So Blown primer, that is really cool. That is also made with sugarcane polymer. And we've now infused the latest batch of the tube with what I call recycled air. It's actually captured carbon. So we're sequestering carbon, we're pulling it out of the air, and we're shoving it into this bioplastic. Okay. So it does a couple of things. One, if the tube does get recycled through like Pact or someone like that, it's actually more easily recyclable. The material becomes more easily recyclable by actually having the sequestered carbon in it. Okay. If it doesn't get recycled, if it ends up in a landfill, which we don't want to have happen, but if it does, then the carbon is sunk. It is captured. It is not getting back into the air. It's carbon we have captured. Okay. And your tube keeps it captured. Okay. So we're pulling carbon out of the air. And at this point, it's a very small amount. We're a small brand. But if we continue to do that, we continue to grow, other brands adopt this technology, then we'll be sucking a lot of carbon out of the air. It's pretty cool.
That's really cool. And I mean, that's kind of what you did with Urban, right? Because it's like when you first started that, it was like, you know, like you said, you democratize beauty, and then now everybody is caught on, and like that's the standard.
Well, it's table stakes now.
Right. Yeah. So it's like the same thing as like what you're doing with Caliray. It's like, okay, this is what we're doing. This is the packaging that we're building. Is it difficult to create new packaging?
Yes.
Okay.
I tried doing a palette out of a material that was made from the fat cells of bacteria. This was pretty cool because what would happen is you would use the palette, you would throw it in your composter, and the same bacteria that it was made of, that bacteria would eat it, right?
Got it. Which so it would like eat itself.
It would eat itself, which would be really, really cool. Yeah. The problem was it's an untested material. So it's really hard to put that in the market. It's hard to get drop tests. I ended up doing it out of a bamboo material, which I could also compost. Okay. So I put little holes in the bottom so you could pop your aluminum pans out. You could recycle the aluminum. You could compost the bamboo palette, which was pretty cool. And I didn't put a mirror in it, which people love a mirror, but mirrors are really, really toxic. So yeah. So anyway, there's lots of like like tech that's available out there, but we just need more traction on it. We need more people to pay attention to it because we really can start to change beauty if we are all sort of like focused. And the more brands lean into sustainability, the more demand there's going to be, the more innovation there's going to be, right? So it's an issue. We don't want to be like the only brand. I know that there's a lot of, I know Tower's doing it, Say is doing it. Like I know that there's a lot of other brands that are focused on this mission as well. And both Say and both Lainey and Amy are amazing for really standing up for this. But if we get more to do it, then even there's going to be more innovation.
Absolutely.
We don't want to be the only ones. Everyone should be doing sustainability.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's how you change the world. Because then everybody can have a choice, but yet everyone's still saving the world while looking cute.
Right. And maybe then there's more demand for the bacteria-based polymers that we can do more research. I didn't think of it, but you go out into the world and you look for
what you're looking for.
What other people are doing. Like what are they doing out there in the world that might translate to a case, might translate to this or that. So it's kind of cool.
What's the biggest difference of what it was like when you were working on Urban and now when you're working on Caliray? Like, do you feel like there's a speed difference? What do you think is like because when I think of, like you said, when Urban started, it was, you guys were new and nobody was wearing those colored eyeshadows. Nobody was wearing, those
Nobody was talking about men wearing makeup.
Nobody was talking
people
about
thought we were crazy for doing that.
Right? So it's like, what I'm really trying to say is like, in the building process of actually making the company, what do you feel is easier now that wasn't as easy then?
Well, there's definitely more resources for small brands now. When I started, there were no resources. So the barriers to entry are completely different now. Before, the barrier to entry was figuring out where to go to get this made. Like there was not... I'm pretty old, and we started Urban, we launched in 1996. So there's people that are in the world today that are beauty consumers that have never known a world without Urban Decay. To them, that is a legacy brand, like legacy. Yeah. So I remember having influencers at a Caliray event, and I realized they were born after I started Urban Decay, which is crazy, right?
That is really cool.
So, it's the barriers to entry then were like, how do you get it made? We actually went to a car paint factory and asked them where they get the car paint made, thinking maybe that's where you'd make nail polish. And it did turn out to be accurate. And so once we got the nail polish people, then we were able to say, well, where do you get bottles to put this in? And then we were able to get that. And then we were like, where do you get a case to make a lipstick? And then we'd ask them where to make a lipstick. It's literally like building your own network. Now you go to Google and you type in, right? And so that barrier is a lot different. The barriers to entry were there were more gatekeepers. So you had to go through the traditional women's magazines and media. And I would scour and look at the what was called a masthead. It was a page with all the different editors. I would find the beauty director. I would literally get on the phone and start calling. Wow. When you wanted to track down a celebrity, you could get celebrities to do things for you if you could track them down. And maybe they didn't have to go through their management. Now everyone's on a pay scale, pay sheet, influencer, this, that. I remember tracking down, hearing that Shirley Manson, who was the lead singer for this band called Garbage, which was super hot in the late 90s and early 2000s, was recording in Minneapolis. So I went to the library and I got the Minneapolis phone book and looked up the Minneapolis recording studios. And I called all of them and I was like, is Shirley there? Is Shirley there? Is Shirley? And finally they're like, it's Shirley. I got her on the phone. I'm like, hey, I've got these nail polishes I'm making. Would you wear them on stage? And she was like, sure, send them to me. So this was how I met Gwen Stefani for the first time. Just all of tracking people down, and then they'd wear stuff and talk about it and be like, that doesn't happen anymore.
No, that does not happen
anymore. So now the barriers to entry are how good is your marketing, right? And understanding the social media piece. So even as we grew Urban, we understood marketing, but we were kind of pioneers on the social media side. But now it is completely social media driven. And so that's just the new barrier to entry is how much can you throw at that? How viral can you get it to go? Yeah. And having that secret sauce and making it work that way.
That's so interesting. I had not even thought about so you were a real you were really hustling.
I was hustling. I made press kits out of supplies I bought at the Laguna Beach hardware store.
Wow.
Like I remember getting like metal boxes from IKEA and like putting my stuff in there and wrapping them in caution tape.
Yeah.
And like crumpling up paper and putting press releases on them. Like,
man.
So
Yeah.
I am going to take credit for the first ever like social media campaign.
Okay.
So there were these really cool girls that were, their mom ran this like, very interesting fashion showroom called Showroom 7.
Okay.
And I would send them makeup and money and just be like, pass it out to your friends.
Okay.
So I'd pay them to pass out the makeup to their friends because they were very much tastemakers in New York City. They were like it girls.
Okay.
So that's kind of how we started.
I love that.
Yeah.
So be like, here, just try this.
Just try this.
This is cool.
This is cool. And here's a bunch of money.
Yeah.
Not a bunch, but like for me.
Yeah.
Here's some money.
Here's some money. Nail polishes. You knew because you launched in '96 with the nail polishes and the
lipsticks.
The lipsticks.
Yes.
Yeah. How did you know nail polish was going to be a thing, or that was just your big bet?
That was kind of a big bet. And Chanel was like, had come out with Vamp. And so polish had changed from like your pink, beige, mauve, red options, which were the only options, to this more like vampy, deep, dark red shade, which is kind of now a very much classic. And we sort of saw that trend happening and said, like, why does nail polish have to look like that? And we did want to make it more like guy friendly. So we did like a gunmetal color. We did like these iridescent, super cool colors with really interesting pigments in them that had never been seen before. And we did the lipsticks the same way. So we had a blue lipstick back in the day.
Yeah, I love that. It's just like it's so innovative and different. And I feel like right now, I feel like what you're doing with Caliray feels like that too, in a different way.
It's different, yeah.
In like a, I don't know how to explain it. I feel like when I see you, like I see this packaging, this style, everything about it now feels like it fits you in this moment.
Yeah. So the urban aesthetic was really driven by the time I had in Chicago.
Okay.
So when I was living in Chicago, working at that ad agency, I was living in an illegal loft. It was 4,000 square feet of old factory space that was not designated for residential. And we kind of turned the like bathroom, we like rigged up a shower, we like bought a like plug-in stove and like we had a wood burning stove and we had a...
Did you have roommates?
I had a boyfriend roommate.
Okay,
yeah.
a boyfriend roommate. Yeah.
And we had a basketball hoop in there, and we'd rollerblade in there. It was like crazy. We'd have crazy parties.
Oh, amazing.
But it was like a totally illegal, crazy loft space. I actually did a ton of research on the building because it was very interesting. And it turns out like Frank Sinatra spent a lot of time in the executive penthouse on the top floor.
Oh, interesting.
He was friends with the owners of the factory, and there's a clock tower and you could climb up in it. It was just like always an adventure, and everything was raw and kind of industrial, but it was really, really beautiful. And if you think about Urban Decay, right, this is where the name is from. You look at like a crumbling brick wall or something that's just got a little like age to it, and it's really like beautiful, but it's not like brand new, shiny, perfect. And it was really about seeing the beauty that's a little deeper. So that's where kind of the name came from.
Yeah.
And that was my aesthetic when I rolled into this brand, was like, let's make it kind of this industrial. Let's put the eyeshadows in metal tins. Let's make it something a dude would have. Yeah. And it was a little bit inspired by that boyfriend because he would carry around, he was super handsome. He was this kind of vain guy. And he would carry around, he'd stolen from me, a little concealer that was in almost like a chapstick tube, but it was all black. So it was very dude-like. And he would keep it. I would always find it in his pants pocket. And I'm like, that is my concealer. And
reading Prince.
Yeah. So, but I knew that there was like some appeal to men. Like,
yeah.
So anyway,
I love that.
I wanted to make it more industrial and cool.
Yeah.
But I had always been into the wellness piece. So like at Urban, I built all the workstations out of non-off-gassing materials. I built a biodynamic garden with fruit and edible flowers and lettuce and strawberries and things that people could go out into the yard and pick.
Yeah.
And then I would have these guys come, instead of having gardeners, I would have the harvesters come, and once a week we would have a harvest left on the table, and anyone could come take the zucchinis, the strawberries, whatever grew that week. It was up for grabs for the team. And I remember one of the accountants saying to me like, well, homeless people are just going to come by and take the food. I'm like, good. That would be great. If they fed themselves on fruits and vegetables, I would encourage that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we had yoga classes. We had like emotional support animals before that was cool. Like we had 50 dogs in the office. People could bring their dogs. We encouraged dog adoption.
I love that.
Because people could bring their dog to the office. So many dogs were fostered and adopted at Urban Decay. And I'm really proud of all the stuff we did to make it a very like wellness-based environment. We took the parabens out of all of our products probably 18 years ago when nobody cared or knew. Mm-hmm. We would put paraben-free on the package. People would be like, what does that even mean? Who cares? But now people care. Like you can't imagine, right? Table stakes again, formulating with parabens.
Mm-hmm.
So I took all of that stuff that really mattered to me, like deeply mattered to me. And we even tried sustainability. We tried to make our eyeshadows out of corn plastic.
Oh, interesting.
Early days, it wasn't really a viable option, but we were like using all recycled materials for the boxes, and we were really dipping our toe into the sustainability piece as much as we could early on. So I took all of that plus all of my like obsession with wellness and my sort of like yoga girl, like, hippie person. Like I had my babies on the floor of my house with a midwife, like that kind of concept, and rolled that into Caliray. And along with the surfing and everything else that sort of inspired the sustainability piece.
I love that. So who funded the original company? Like how did you get funding, or did you have to go out to lenders and stuff, or was it?
For Caliray?
Not for Caliray, for Urban.
Oh, for Urban? Well, we had Sandy.
Oh, right. Yeah. Never mind. You had the founder of the internet.
I didn't really have to go fund. I mean, we kept track. It wasn't like it was free money. It was definitely like, an investment in the company and all of that. But definitely we did not have to go. I did not have to go fundraise that. So that was another whole thing I had to go learn.
Yeah. How to do. Okay, so that's what you did for Caliray.
I did do some fundraising for Caliray. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. It's so interesting to like you're so unique because you have these two different experiences in two different decades. You know what I mean?
It is like two completely different careers.
Yeah. What made you want to do it again, even though it's something else? What made you want to like keep going and do something else in beauty?
Well, I love beauty.
Yeah.
And I loved the people I worked with. I loved building this work family. Mm-hmm. Like I built a place that the thing I'm most proud of with Urban is the family we built. Mm. And like it was a place where people, they came to work at a place that had a mission.
Yeah.
They were paid well. We made great products. We had fun. Like we were doing great things. And I really missed that a lot. And I love the beauty space. Like I'm like you, as soon as I get a beauty product, I open it and start trying it.
Yeah.
Like I can't help myself. And I love playing a lot of tennis, but I didn't think that's what I wanted to do all day, all the time. I felt like I wasn't done yet. And I really thrive on having people around me. And I really love having people now younger around me and continuing to learn. Like I just want to learn about, I've learned so much about digital media and what I thought I knew about. I thought I was like social media pioneer. Like I know nothing. So I like every day I love learning more and more and more and listening to podcasts with people that do it way better and trying to like, crack that nut. Like I'm always wanting to solve a problem. But first and foremost, I love creating products.
Yeah.
I'm a product developer. Like everything about it. I love telling the story through the product, whether through the packaging, the formulation, like the whole thing. Mm-hmm. I probably could be a better like brand storyteller. I feel like my brand has this like great story about it and how it came about, but and why it's here. But really, I just put my heart and soul into all the product. Like product is my jam.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay. Speaking of like standout products, I want to talk to you about the all-nighter.
Okay.
From Urban Decay, because that is something that as a makeup artist, I had in my kit forever. Like that setting spray is going on every person I've done makeup on.
And there has been so many great stories about that setting spray. We've gotten stories sent to us about, it went viral in Korea because some influencer in Korea posted about having sex with her boyfriend and then makeup staying on, and then all of a sudden we sold out of all-nighter. I mean, there are stories about people that have been in car crashes and their makeup was perfect after having babies. Like, Like all kinds of incredible stories.
That's wild.
And it really started because I used to spray my face with hairspray. I was in Miss Texas. I was Miss Benbrook one year and then Miss Tarrant County the next year. And I would spray my face to keep my makeup on with hairspray, which is obviously not good for you to be breathing in. Doesn't feel that good on your face, but does keep your makeup on. And so All Nighter was sort of like, what's the next gen? Where people don't have to spray their faces with hairspray. I wasn't the only person doing this. Yeah. And so that's where that started. And then with Caliray, we've invented the surf-proof setting spray.
Yes, which I have on.
And it is a whole nother, to me, next generation up. So it's sprayable skincare. The sprayer's improved, so it's like a light mist. It smells like a dreamy vacation.
It has magnesium.
It has transdermal magnesium in
Which
it.
I
So,
love.
if you work out and you like work hard, you take an Epsom salt bath or a magnesium bath. Like, why wouldn't you want to bathe your face in transdermal magnesium for skin recovery? So it's got seawater minerals, it's got niacinamide, it's got all these like great ingredients in it that just like make your pores look more blurred, and just you can continue to layer it on throughout the day. And we just got a 24-hour wear claim on it. So it works really well too. So not only is it clean, not only is it like sprayable skincare, not only is it hydrating, a little bit blurring, transdermal magnesium, but it keeps it on for 24 hours. Sorry, that sounded like a commercial.
No, that's great. I feel like, and setting sprays are having a moment right now.
Yes.
People are tired of reapplying their makeup throughout the day.
I work way too hard. I'm way too busy.
Right?
Yes.
So, I mean, yeah, I definitely highly recommend that. I really like it.
I have a lot of days where I have to like be glammed and on
the whole day.
And I still want to get my workout in. So I will get up early. I will put my eye makeup on and I will close my eyes and set it with setting spray. I will go work out as hard and sweaty, and I will come home and then just apply my like skin.
That's such a good trick.
It's a really good trick because your eye makeup really won't move that much.
Yeah.
And so sometimes I'll show up at like a tennis match.
Yeah.
Full glam and be like, what is happening right now? I'm like, sorry, I gotta go.
I gotta go
shoot a video. I gotta go be in a podcast, like whatever it is. But yeah.
That's a good idea.
It's a good idea.
I'm gonna take a note of that.
Just do your makeup before.
Yeah.
Do your workout. Come back. Wrap it.
Yeah.
Wrap it in a bow.
Yeah.
And go do your thing.
Yeah. Put that foundation on. And be like a little blush,
and
you're done. And that's the fast stuff.
That's the fast stuff.
Yeah. Do you do the brow too?
I do the brow.
Okay. Yeah. Because you know what? Honestly, an eye really isn't finished unless the brow's there too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it just depends on how much makeup my face needs that day. If it needs a lot of makeup, I may wait and do the brow after. Okay. I'll pencil it. I just have a few sparse areas. I have a lot of brow for.
You have a great brow.
For a lady my age, I do. Yeah.
I didn't know. Wait, so you're saying like, do brow yeah, you're right. Actually, brow hairs do get thinner.
Yeah. People lose their brows a little bit. They lose their lashes.
That's true. Yeah.
I know that that's not what this podcast is about, but I can talk about that all day long too.
No, you can talk about it.
All the ways to mitigate.
Yeah. Yeah, talk about how to mitigate.
Drift.
Yeah, please tell me.
Well, I mean, I don't know how many of your listeners are into this, but really I would tell you to just stay on top of what's happening with your body.
Okay.
And, make sure you're using things on your face that are definitely not going to wear your skin down too much, but of course, like turning cell turnover and all that great skincare advice you read. I mean, there's so much of it. You don't need that from me. But the biggest thing is I'm a big believer in hormone replacement therapy for midlife women. As soon as you get into perimenopause, go to a naturopath, go to a gynecologist who specializes in midlife women's health, and make sure your hormones are on track, because you can really sail through that midlife piece beautifully, or it can be a struggle. And no one deserves for it to be a struggle. I heard this statistic the other day. I have a friend who's a really prominent gynecologist in Newport Beach, and she specializes in this. And she said there are like 26 different testosterone replacement medications for men that you can get, right, through your prescription card, subsidized by your insurance company. Do you know how many there are for women? Because we have testosterone too. We have a lot, and we need it. Do you know how many we have? Zero. Zero. You have to pay for it full pop. There's not one that's like you either have to like, if you happen to get your husband to get it, you have to like microdose it yourself, but who knows what you're getting, right? Don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah.
But it's just so wrong that like this is not a really like wellness issue for women in midlife. So it's kind of my new thing.
Yeah. That actually makes me think too, because I feel like, was there a moment where you were like, am I going to start another beauty company or am I going to do a wellness brand? Did you think about that?
Well, I wanted Caliray, and I still do. And I had one of my original products was a beauty drink. So I really see this more as a lifestyle brand that does, and I did it with a great partner with Thorne, who is just a really like amazing supplements brand. We did a really, really innovative beauty drink. I think it was a little before its time. I tend to do things like that.
Okay.
It was actually a really cool, it was like a printed disc. It tasted really good. You just dropped it in water and it dissolved. So you could carry these little packets with you. The packets were plastic free, which was really cool.
Very cool.
And it was like you printed it out of a printer and they would put them in these little sachets. And it contained NR, which is nicotinamide riboside, which is the cell turnover supercharger. It contained green tea extract, so it gave you a little charge without caffeine. It contained lutein. It contained all kinds of like really amazing stuff in it to help boost your beauty from the inside out to make your skin glow. And if you took a gummy that had the same potency, the gummy would have to be the size of a baseball. You'd have to be like eating a baseball-sized gummy. So this one little thin disc you just dropped. It's like your mom had Crystal Light. Like this was your Crystal Light, except it was like actually did something for you, tasted good. And so I'd love to bring that.
Such a moment.
I know. I really want to bring that back.
I love that.
Because I think it's a really cool idea, and I think people are ready to like take care of themselves from the inside out.
Agreed. Yeah. I really feel like that is the way forward. In fact, to be honest with you, most of the conversations that I have on this podcast turn into a conversation about wellness. Almost always, because I feel like founders care about it. I feel like people are doing their own research and trying to figure out what's going on with them. Like, I've spent so much time thinking about like what's going on hormonally and what's happening and like how I'm eating differently now to make sure that I can like keep my body in line.
Great.
Yeah, it's
and
so,
drinking less and all of those things and finding
things.
all kinds of alternative ways to just relax. I am really big proponent of, like I said, all kinds of exercise to do that. I think women should be lifting weights.
Agreed.
I get a lot of pushback on that from my friends who are my age. And it really is the magic pill to longevity. It keeps your bones from falling apart. It keeps your muscle mass up so that you don't end up frail as an older person. It keeps your mind strong. It just is like got ridiculous kinds of benefits. And we all need to be doing more of it.
Yeah, we do all need to be doing more of it. I was weightlifting a lot for a while, and I have been doing less of it, but I'm incorporating it like in my schedule in a sense of like it's not my everyday anymore, but it's like it's still in there like 2-3 times a week.
Good.
You know?
That's good. If you're lifting heavy, that's probably enough.
Yeah.
Make sure you're working on your grip strength. I love listening to Dr. Stacy Sims.
Okay.
She is a really great person to listen to if you are a woman, and no matter what phase of life you're in, if you are a woman who has periods, she will tell you how, when, and at what intensity to exercise during your cycle to maximize the benefits of that exercise. Or if you're a competitive athlete on your cycle, when you can go hard and when you should back off. And for midlife women, she is a wealth of knowledge about how you should be exercising to maximize not only your lifespan, but your health span. So you should try to get her on your show. Okay. She's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been doing a lot of research on cycle syncing. So yeah, I mean, that sounds very, very like up my alley and what I'm thinking of. I feel like all of us are hearing it a lot more now. Like, it's like being dripped in a little bit. So it makes sense to have I like that you're incorporating a beauty drink into your brand, because I feel like it's going to make a lot of sense.
It makes a lot of sense.
It makes a lot of sense. Yeah. It like comes full circle. Fundraising. Can you talk about how to effectively fundraise?
I don't know if I can, and here's why.
Okay.
Because I have been in this business for a really, really, really long time, and I know a lot of people.
Okay.
And so it's really very easy for me to just go to my contacts and begin there. So I am not one of those people that have had to like pound the pavement so hard. A lot of people were ready to be a part of Caliray right from the beginning. So, and then the one that's, we have a friend who just wanted to be involved. He's a great investor of all kinds, and runs a great retail business of his own. And then in terms of funds, we have True Beauty Ventures. And I don't know if you've heard of them, but they fund a lot of like the newer brands in the beauty space. I think they're up to 20 brands now. They've been an amazing partner. And one of the partners, Rich Gersten, was interested in Urban Decay when we looked at private equity funding at a certain point closer to our exit.
Okay.
And they ended up not getting that. And he said it was one of his regrets. So, I called him and he's like, yeah, we need to talk. So that they ended up coming in pretty early on and being able to help us out. So it's been a great partnership with them.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. It kind of also reminds me of, as you continue to meet people, to have good relationships as you continue to grow, because you never know. There could be another opportunity.
You
in the
never
future.
know, or you run into people again. Like it is so important to maintain those relationships.
In Southern California too, I feel like it's quite like close knit. Like people know each other.
Yes, they do.
Yeah. It kind of reminds me. I lived in New York for 10 years. And it reminds me a little bit of New York. Like you kind of, even if you don't know somebody, you know of
someone,
them. Yeah,
right.
you know someone who knows them. So it's quite like close, and you really start to know each other. Whereas California, I'm so new to, and now I'm meeting different people, but I'm starting to be like, okay, yeah, everyone really does know each other here.
People do know each other here.
Yeah, which is interesting. Okay, so like what are you most excited about when it comes to having this having Caliray? Because I feel like that I know that Urban Decay is like, obviously you're still involved, right?
I'm not still involved in Urban
Oh,
Decay.
You're not?
No.
Okay, I thought for some reason, I don't know why I thought you were still involved.
Absolutely friendly.
Yeah. You're like, in a good way.
In a good way. We're good.
Yeah.
But there's they have a new president who is sort of a L'Oreal person.
Okay.
She's great. She comes down to Newport Beach. We've met. It's all good.
You guys are good.
We're good. And I still have a few core employees that are still there, and they'll come over to the Caliray house on a Friday afternoon for rosé, and we've done really fun. We've done Urban Decay reunions at the Caliray house.
Okay.
And people it's so fun to get all the gang back together. And there's a lot of people from different eras. So there'll be people that didn't even know each other, someone that was there at the beginning or towards the end. But we just try to bring all those people back together, because it was such a shared experience. It was such a crazy time building this brand and getting it to be, the number one brand at Sephora, at Ulta, and doing, $1 billion worldwide. And it was crazy times and really, really fun. And that is something people hold in their heart, and they have a lot of joy about that time.
Yeah.
So it's fun to bring everybody back together for that. And, it's just a really cool thing.
Yeah, it is very cool. It's cool to have that as part of your history. Okay, so I want to talk about then. Tell me about this Caliray house.
Oh yeah, the Caliray house. Well, you can see the beach from the driveway.
Okay.
It's like a kooky little mid-century little surf house.
Okay.
I have a full hardcore gym in the garage, so you can come over and work out and then go surf. We got bikes there,
oh my gosh.
But everyone kind of has their own room.
Okay.
And you go to your room, get your work done, and then we have our kind of living room, kitchen, dining room areas where we meet, and it's just a really laid back, cool place. And if you're stressed, you can pop on your little hat and walk out to the beach and take a few breaths of the salt air and recenter yourself and get back to work.
That sounds like a dream.
It's pretty cool.
That's very cool. Is your commute long to get there, or is it close?
I live next door.
Oh, perfect. So
I know.
Well,
that's how
hey,
the Caliray
what's
house
up?
happened.
Yeah.
So yeah, I own the house.
Yeah.
And then the house next door for me came up for sale. I didn't really want another house the size of my house built next to my house.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm going to keep this little house small.
Yeah.
So I bought the house, and then my husband and I were sort of like, what are we going to do with the house? I'm like, we should tear it down, build a little guest house, put a pool, make it a little compound. And he's like, no, we should just clean it and rent it. Right. So he's, standard. Right.
Yeah.
And then we decided we were going to start Caliray, and it became very obvious to just put it next door.
Yeah.
And it's been great.
That's amazing.
Yeah. I think people like coming to work in the little house.
I could imagine. Yeah. It's
and you're welcome to come over.
I would love
anytime.
to come. I'm definitely.
We'll ride bikes to go surf.
Okay, I'm into
we
it.
We can't surf in front of the house. It's too big there.
Okay.
It's not good for you and me.
Okay, yeah.
No.
Okay.
But we can ride bikes just down the road to surf. And then, we can.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that I'm definitely coming.
Come.
I'm on the way. I'm
Yeah.
literally like, okay, I'm putting stuff in my car right now. Like, okay, all right, yeah. So tell me what's exciting about Caliray. Like, what are you the most excited about right now?
So the thing I'm most excited about right now are these guys, the lip guards.
Yes.
I hope you loved yours.
I do. I have it on.
It's our new SPF 31 product, and it doesn't look, feel, or taste like SPF. It's like your true favorite go-to balmy, shiny gloss that you just like throw on whenever you need gloss on.
Yeah.
And
which one am I wearing?
You are wearing Big Sur.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think that's the one I'm wearing too.
It's pretty.
So I am really excited about this product. We've been working on it for a really long time to get the consistency, the texture, everything just right, and get the price right too, because I really wanted it to be accessible to people. So it's $19. So it's under $20.
That's nice.
Yeah, I really
appreciate that.
Yeah. It wasn't easy, but we were able to like grind, work very close. I have long-term vendor relationships. They were able to work with me to build this gloss. So I'm really, really excited about it.
Are you making this in the States?
We are making it in the States.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
You're spared from these tariff situations.
Well, the components do not come from.
Oh,
so,
okay.
So,
okay.
So
you're like,
I have thoughts on tariffs. My thoughts are there are certain things that belong here to be made here.
Yeah.
And there are certain things that shouldn't be made here.
Right.
I don't know anyone that I talk to, and there's a lot of people in Orange County that are like pro current administration.
Yeah.
And I don't know anyone I talk to whose kid, they want their kid to go work in an injection molding factory.
Yeah, no.
I don't know anyone whose kid they want to have go work in a factory sewing underwear. And more power to you if that is what you do, but I just don't think that's the business. So the tariffs are hard, and I'm grateful for the reprieve.
Yeah.
It's very awesome, but I don't think they're helpful to small business.
I agree. I think it's like wiping small businesses
I think it's
out.
really hurting small businesses, and I think it's going to hurt the economy in general.
Yeah.
That's my personal opinion.
I
Other
know.
people will disagree, but
Yeah. No, I agree. We're in agreement here. Okay. Are there obstacles that you have not necessarily identified, like you didn't know that they were obstacles, and then right now they're kind of hitting you within this new company? Because you launched in what, 2022?
yes.
Yeah. So it's like, it's a newer company. Like, is there anything that's like
There's
really...
all kinds. It's nonstop.
Yeah.
I think there's different things about the way the world works in business now that are, there's more people who are willing to do gig work, right? There's more agencies out there to be able to help you with specified things. So, whereas before you had to like hire a person, you had to like hire them. And now you're like, well, I might just need that for a few minutes and then move on. And so you can hire just for these specific task-oriented things that you need, which is great. On the other hand, you have people that aren't as like invested maybe in your brand. I run across more people like that when we're interviewing. They're not as invested in being like, I'm on the team, right?
Right.
I do have a lot of those people, and that is one of the things I look for is like, are you on the team?
Yeah. What is looking for, like, what does that look like? What does somebody being on the team look like?
That means you are like, you understand it's a startup, and that means there's a little more your soul's got to go into it for the thing to work. It's not a job where you show up and you just do what's assigned to you and then you go home. Like, even people that are doing sort of basic things have to like put more of their heart and soul into that. So, because it's a startup. Once it gets up and it's running and it's like humming along, like you can have jobs that are more of that, like come in, do your thing and leave. But right now we just can't have anybody like that. We have everyone 100% like on the team.
Into it.
Like a sports team, like we're in together, like together. So, and in that case, you also have to watch for vibes in the environment, and you have to nip that in the bud because it's small. Like, so there's all those kinds of things. But to really answer your question, it's less about people, because mostly great people. It's more about staying so current on all of the stuff with social, all of the things with influencer that drives the business, right? Because those things are like shifting really, really fast. And when you have a small team, it's a little harder to stay on top of all of that. So I would say that's kind of the biggest obstacle.
How do you choose influencers to work with? Caliray?
I have a person who manages our influencer network.
Okay.
And she's amazing. And then sometimes I just discover people and I reach out to them because they seem cool and I like them. And so that's my way. I don't have a personal scientific way of discovering them, but I do love seeing who we're working with as well.
Yeah.
And, she really works, different ways of finding people.
Yeah.
So.
How big is the company right now? Like how many people?
We have about, I would say, 12 people total.
Okay.
12, 13. Yeah.
And
some part-time, but mostly 12 working full-time and then like probably 14 total.
Okay. How do you divide them up? Like in departments, or do you have departments, or is it?
Well, there's not really departments.
You're like, listen, this is a startup.
Yeah,
everybody wears every hat.
I mean, you could do like CMO, COO. You could do all of that, but we don't really do that.
Okay,
it's just like, we have someone who really is great at planning, and he's an operations guy too, right? Like he's a big role, and then we have someone that oversees all of marketing, which includes social, influencer, eventing. Like she kind of oversees the whole thing, and she has quite a few people helping her with that.
Yeah.
And then we have product development, and I work very closely with that person. But the beauty is that's an ex-Urban Decay person. That was my right-hand person at Urban, and she's back with me, which makes me so happy when I reconnect with people. So we actually have quite a few Urban people still working with us.
Yeah.
And then we have, someone that's doing all of the art and visuals, and she's working under that marketing arm as well. So that's kind of how we divide it up. It's pretty, we have a 3PL, as most brands do now. We don't warehouse ourselves. We use a third-party logistics, and we're really happy with them. And I have lots of history with a lot of contract manufacturers, so I love working with them too. I do like to create my products either mostly in the US, but I'll do them in Europe too. I just love to have more control over the stuff that I'm selling.
Right.
Like the packaging is less, it's obviously important and it has to work and be functional and do its job, but like it's really the product that you're putting on your face that is the most important thing to me.
You can go through iterations like redirects and stuff faster if you're making it in the States. Is that also why? Or no?
It used to be.
Okay.
Now it's not so much because you've got like Zoom, you've got email, you've got all this like fast communication. I mean, getting those redirects back.
Yeah.
And, I would say the ones in the US I'm probably tighter with and can lean on a little more to get things faster when I need to.
You're like, hey. So I kind of need this.
Oh, I never like kind of. I'm like, we need this. Yeah.
Now. Yesterday.
Please.
Yeah. Okay. That's good. As a leader, what have you learned that you feel would be helpful for me?
I think one of the things I've learned, it's so interesting you brought up Sandy because this piece of advice was from Sandy.
Okay.
And I always think about it. And it's like, there's only so much Wendy bandwidth is what she would tell me. Because you really do try to do so many things. And I have really learned that you have to let things go and delegate them. I mean, it just made you, it just forces you to be a better delegator when you think about your bandwidth and how much bandwidth you have. Because, it's the oxygen mask on the airplane thing, right? You got to put your own on before you can help others.
Yeah.
So you really got to you got to go get your lift in and your surf in before you can be a good boss at work, right? You got to eat well so you can be a good boss at work. And so you've got to have time to prepare like a good meal. Like you have to carve out chunks of time for things other than work to make you better at your work is the point of that. And then I think the other thing was a lesson I learned, I sort of like stumbled onto myself. And I remember being in Sephora and like thinking to myself like, okay, my gondola, my display looks great. If I could just change out this one shelf, it will be done, right? How much is going to cost to change that one shelf out? And, they're calculating. And then I'm realizing, oh my God, it's never done. It's really about the journey. And balance is really a dynamic state. That's the other thing. It's like you achieve balance and then it moves. So then you got to achieve balance again. You're never like your balance is dynamic. So those are the three pieces is bandwidth, balance, and the journey's never over.
I like that. Balance is dynamic. That makes a lot of sense.
It does. Try to stand on a Bosu ball, right? You're always moving a little, or a stand-up paddleboard.
Yeah.
Right? It's dynamic. The first time you get on a stand-up paddleboard, your like legs are shaking, they're knocking together. Like you're like, how does anybody keep this thing up? And then all of a sudden you settle.
Yeah.
Your nervous system gets it.
Yeah.
Everything settles. But then a wave comes and you've got to like rebalance. So it's just really a dynamic state.
Yeah. I'm going to sit with that. I really like that. That's very well said.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
I've been around a while. Been around the block. I got a few.
Yeah.
I raised two young men. I had to like fill them with all kinds of woo-woo to keep them in line.
Yeah. How do you keep yourself balanced? You mentioned exercise is a really big part of your life. What is it that you go to? Because you seem to have endless energy, which I am like so inspired by.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I do think it is the magic pill.
Yeah.
I really do. But I think mixing it up and doing lots of different things. I think there's joy in learning. I think the beginner's mind is a really magical thing. And so, I wasn't super excited about like learning to play pickleball, right? I'm like, I play tennis. It's a superior game. Yeah. But I'm like playing pickleball here and there because it's the beginner's mind, right? It's like, you got to learn something new all the time. You got to be trying something new. So I think it's the same thing you asked me, like, why did I get into beauty again? It's that beginner's mind. It really is a new beginning, and it really keeps your mind fresh. It keeps it sharp. It like keeps you dynamic in the world, and just you're meeting interesting people. I'm meeting you.
Yeah.
If I hadn't started Caliray, I wouldn't have met you. Like,
that's true.
These things like your abundance comes at you when you are a person in the world.
Yeah. What does your yoga practice look like?
It's pretty good,
Yeah?
actually. I've been practicing a long time.
Have you?
Yeah.
When did you start?
I started when I was 29.
Okay.
So that's a long time.
Yeah. Tell me more. So how did you get into it? Like, how did yoga become the thing for you?
I was dating my husband, and he was into yoga, and I totally dismissed it as like, I don't have time to stretch. I need real workouts. I remember thinking that. And then I went and I was like, oh my God, I can't move. And I was stiff, and I didn't know how to hip hinge. I didn't know how to move my body. I didn't have stability. So many of my weaknesses were made clear to me.
Wow.
But the most important part of yoga is really breathing through things, right? Is the breath. And once you master the breath, then you can really it forces you to be present. And you can apply it to so many other things, including laser hair removal to get through it. So it really is a skill like that. That Ujjayi breath is so important in all the different breathing techniques.
Okay, so you do yoga like 3 times a week. You do lifting?
Probably like 4 to 5 times a week.
Okay. And then surfing whenever you
when I throw it in.
Okay.
When the water warms up. I don't like it super cold.
Yeah, no, I know. You know what? Actually, that's kind of been the reason why I've been hesitant in California, because I learned somewhere else, and so it was
we'll get you a wetsuit.
Yeah, exactly.
I got sources for that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I do not like, because I do not like being cold. Do you feel warmer after you've been out there for a while?
Yes.
So it's fine.
It's fine. You get used to it. You need a wetsuit in California.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with that. Yeah. Okay.
I also love, even if it's warm, I love a long-sleeved wetsuit just for the sun protection.
Speaking of that, I know you're a big fan of SPF.
I am, yeah.
Well, I mean, you have SPF in the new gloss that's coming out. What is your routine, your SPF routine? Because I heard you say that you have like a very intense routine for how you do your SPF.
It depends on what I'm doing.
Okay.
So if I'm going out and it's pretty early and I'm just going to play tennis for an hour and a half, or go walk my dog for 45 minutes. I put on I have lab samples laying all over the place, but I put on some form of lightweight, pretty on your skin sunscreen.
Okay.
But if I'm going to spend the day at the beach, if I'm going to go surfing or snowboarding up in the mountains where the UV index is higher, or I am going to play volleyball all day, then this is just my neck up routine.
Okay.
The body's different. You're always just slathering it on.
Okay.
But I would use that Shiseido cream.
Okay.
because it is really, really, really waterproof. And that is what all the professional surfers use.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they use it for a reason. I mean, they use other things too, like mud on their face and all of that, but we don't want to smear mud on our face.
Yeah.
So I use that. And then I'll put on an SPF, maybe a little bit of SPF foundation.
Okay.
And then I will then layer on top of that the Shiseido SPF powder. I apply it with a brush. So I use 2 shades. I use low points, high points.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's such a not translucent powder that you end up looking like really creepy and flat-faced. So you really do need to weirdly, like on your day at the beach, you weirdly need to contour.
Yeah.
But I use a deeper and a lighter shade, and I just dust it on, and then I set it with setting spray. And
Sunproof.
yeah, the surf proof. Yeah. And then that's it. So I do several layers of sunscreen, and it will sort of I just let each one kind of settle. But it's a routine to get that layer and layer and layer of sunscreen on. But that is my active day out in the sun a lot sunscreen routine.
Okay. No, that's good. Because I've been trying to think about. It's funny living because I was in New York for so long. I feel like you think about SPF obviously because you're outside a lot, but here, I mean, even when you're driving,
oh, you have to wear it every day.
It's on your hands.
It's on your hands.
You know,
I mean, have you ever seen the picture of the truck driver?
Yes, I have.
Yes, you have. We've all seen it. It's real.
It's real.
So you have to put it on. The SPF I love for a foundation. I'm mentoring a young woman through the Sephora Accelerate program, and I have been using hers, and it is amazing. Her name's Crystal Alert, and her brand is called Tonal. And it is a beautiful, beautiful SPF foundation.
Okay.
So
check that out.
Yeah, you'll love it.
Yeah.
And so that's what I've been using on my face on top of the Shiseido. Once the regular, it's kind of a white cream, but it will eventually disappear in. And then I put the Tonal on top of it, and then the Shiseido sunscreen powder. It's a sunscreen powder. That's why I use it on top of it.
Are they mineral or chemical?
They're a combo.
Okay. I'm definitely going to check out Tonal too. Thank you so much for that. Okay, so let me tell you a story. I tried to move to London when I was younger. I have a lot of family in London. And I applied for a job at Urban Decay's counter.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, I think it was, I don't know if it was a John
Selfridges
Lewis or
John Lewis. Yeah, for
exactly.
sure.
A John Lewis or Selfridges or something. And I went in there and I was trying, I didn't even have papers. I was trying to get them to sponsor me. They're like, girl, please. We are not sponsoring you to come work at a counter. But I really want, I feel like it's one of those things where it's all these different, and you probably hear this all the time, that people have had their moments and their.
I've made so many people's makeup drawers. It's the joy of my life.
Right?
I gotta tell you. It's when people have an Urban Decay story, it makes me so happy.
It's so wild.
And it was really cool. You mentioned those stores in London. Once we got to Europe, it made me super happy because I went to high school over there.
Yeah.
And that's where I discovered Sephora, was wandering through these little perfumeries that were Sephora's back in the day. And I remember buying little Christian Dior, those iridescent little eyeshadow palettes, and then there I am in those stores. And it was the coolest thing. My sister and I would take the ferry over to go shop at in London, go buy makeup. And then we were, back in there we are. It was the coolest thing for me to see my brand back where I went to high school.
Yeah. Is your goal to go global with Caliray? What do you think?
Well, right now we're just trying to get more traction in the U.S. and figure out how to re-import into Canada with all the tariffs. So right now there's that. But eventually I think it's a beautiful brand for around the world. It really was inspired by a lot of my Urban Decay travel. I would go open different countries, and kind of universally people would want to ask me about what's it like in Southern California.
Yeah.
And they're really fascinated with the California dream. And so this is really about the California dream in a little bottle. And so I do think it would have traction overseas, but I think we have a lot of work to do here first.
Yeah. What is it? What was the name? Is Caliray? Is it a
okay, it is a thing. So it's California because I was California Dream, right? And then I have a shirt that someone gave me, a really awesome former employee.
Yeah.
And it's a yellow shirt with black letters that says, "I'm a ray of fucking sunshine." And I really am. And so that's what the ray is. I'm someone's mom, so I never wore the shirt, and I'm someone's mom, and kids are buying this, so I can't put that on the, but it's just a little like, in there.
I love that.
Caliray.
It is nice.
I mean, a lot of clean brands are very like quiet and nice, and we aim to just have a little more like something
in there.
A little something in there.
Yeah.
We aim to make the sustainability a joyful experience. Like, right? Sustainability can be all about gloom and doom, and we're trying to make it like we all want to compost. Like I make TikToks about what I'm composting today, my Mother's Day flowers. Like, I just want it to be a joyful thing for people. And that is the way you inspire people to do things. People want to do things that are easy and fun.
Yeah.
And so that's how we have to get people on the sustainability train.
I love that. Okay, so on this show, It Takes a Village, I would love for you, this is what we have people do, is they highlight somebody personally and professionally. So one personal, one professional that inspired or helped them in their journey.
Well, I think I'd have to say personally, it was probably Sandy, right?
Yeah.
She really did help me personally and professionally. Like that was, or Tara, the woman who kind of started it all. I mean, we're still really good friends. And but there's so many people when you say, I mean, I love that your podcast is called It Takes a Village. I mean, I have Erica who works for me now. Like this doesn't happen without her. She's really takes on so much of the workload for me. And then I would say Amy Zunzanegi, was my right hand at Urban and has rejoined me to create products. We just make magic together. It's cool. It's so cool. We just sit in a room together and the neurons are firing and the electricity's in the air, and we just feed better and better and better ideas off each other. I am more creative when I'm in the room with her.
Yeah.
And so I would say that, and my family, that crew of boys that just push me all the time to go faster, harder, steeper, whatever.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, I have one last question. Normally I ended on that, but I do have a question. For people who are kind of new and new to this industry and just trying to figure it out, is there anything that you would say to them?
I would say it really is a good idea to go get some experience. I think in whatever field you want, with someone kind of not supervising you, but kind of mentoring you along. I know people want to just jump in and be founders, but it's a business and it's good to learn to be a little bit. Like whatever area you're interested in, whether it's the social piece, the marketing piece, the product development piece, or being a founder, sort of like observe and watch. And I think there's some beauty to like, just I'm going to dive right in and have my vision. But I think there's so much you can learn if your eyes are open to like taking it all in like a sponge, that it's really, really valuable to get that experience. I know that's kind of basic, obvious advice. But the other piece of advice would be, remember that it is a business. It seems like, oh my gosh, this great founder's journey. I'm going to build a beauty brand. It's going to be great. But in the end, you got to like pay the people, you got to pay the bills. It doesn't happen on its own. So it really is this like, that is one of the things that's so cool about beauty is it is a repeat business. It is not unlike, I always say this, it's not unlike Tide Pods, right? If you make a good product, people will come back and buy them again and again and again and again. If you make a great lip gloss, like people are going to repeat buy that thing.
Yeah.
It's also not Tide Pods because beauty speaks to your soul. It is a form of self-expression. It goes on your face. It is part of your story to the world. What brand you choose, how it looks on your face, how it applies, the textures you love, how it makes you feel, and how you present yourself. So it is so much more than a packaged good. So it is really this magical intersection that no other industry has, that is a true like packaged goods business combined with complete and total artistry. How do you make those marry? And that is something you can't just figure out overnight. So
beautiful. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for listening and for being a part of my village. Please leave us a review, and I will see you in the next episode.